Welcome back, you all, to CHD 210, Educating Exceptional Children. This week, we're going to talk about Chapter 11, which is entitled Outside Play. The importance of outside play as part of the daily curriculum cannot be underestimated. Young children and even their teachers need a change of environment. Opportunities for using large muscles while running, climbing, or riding bikes are usually not available inside the classroom. So this kind of play may be more limited at home as well for some children. So because of the limited opportunities to practice, the development of these large muscle play skills may become a particular challenge for children with special needs. This is obviously true for children who have motor disabilities, but it is also true for children who have special needs related to cognitive delays, autism, and visual impairment, because they need close supervision in the outside environment. Going outside provides not only a welcome change from the classroom, but also opportunities to develop large motor skills and enhance play and social skills. If you've ever been inside a classroom for 3 hours with a group of 8 to 12 toddlers or preschoolers, you probably understand the need for a change of environment. Being outside has a calming effect. The natural lighting, the fresh air, the different acoustic characteristics, the opportunity to run and shout offer a welcome change from the classroom environment. It also gives children an opportunity to practice motor and play skills quite often that are different from those that they do inside the classroom. Some researchers that helped to write this textbook found also that children who have attention deficit disorder or ADD, they exhibit a greater ability to focus immediately after spending time outside with nature. Some children with disabilities might actually need adaptations just to get to the playground. So that's something to consider too. Children that might be non-ambulatory or who tire easily might need to use a wheelchair or be pulled in a wagon to and from the classroom to the outside area. Also, once they get in onto the playground, just because of the ramps, maybe there's curbing, that kind of thing. So that's also something to consider when you're moving from the indoor to the outdoor. So one of the main things we know about outside play is it gives the children opportunities for using their large muscles. And it can be that way for all developmental levels as well as all ages. So we should make sure that our activities are different from activities that we find inside the classroom. Typically, outside areas focus on large muscle or gross motor development as well as perceptual motor learning. So through perceptual motor learning, children integrate motor behaviors and perception, like visual, auditory, tactile, kinesthetic, that kind of thing. So one of the things to think about when you're in order to do this, especially with children who have special needs, some things that you might want to consider in an outdoor area would be a padded rubber ground covering, possibly climbing structures, different sizes of slides and swings, toys that rock back and forth, wheeled like scooter type toys, wagons, all different sizes of balls, shapes and sizes. And then also like a low basketball or a basket that they can throw those balls into. So we want to give them all the opportunities as far as materials to build those large motor skills. One of the big things we know too is some children with special needs may require assistance in learning how to play in an outside environment. For example, learning to climb up and down a slide can be a daunting but exciting challenge for children with special needs. Many times we will have to tell them and show them exactly what their bodies will need to do. And that's called task analysis. Okay. So many times children with special needs may need that. So it's important for you to discuss it verbally with them and then also physically, like to show them exactly what it would look like. Like if you were going to tell them about going down a slide, you might say, hold on to the rail with your hand, sit down on your bottom, and all the while you're doing this, you're showing them as you are telling them. Put your feet out in front of you. Use your hands on the floor to push yourself forward on the slide, and then to place your hands on the sides of the slide as you go down. So you're telling and then showing them by doing, okay? For a few children, outside time may be an opportunity for them to have some alone time and to recover from the often more intense enclosed classroom environment. Outside time may also create opportunities for learning how to negotiate conflicts amongst their peers. So one thing to remember with that, it's important to allow the children to attempt to solve their own problems and their own conflicts, all the while monitoring the situation and only intervening when it is necessary. One of the biggest things I think about with outside play, in addition to those large muscle development, is developing social skills. It's some of the best opportunities for social skill development are found outside. And I just listed just a few of them. Taking turns and sharing toys. That's some of the biggest to me as far as social skills, and learning to play follow the leader and pulling a friend in a wagon, playing catch with your friend. Just so many opportunities for social skill development. Another thing too, sometimes we see in the classroom where teachers may not want to incorporate something like a sand and water play. Because they're not always as easily managed on inside. So outside's a great place to have a sand and water play. Your book goes into some kind of goes into great detail about sand boxes and water tables, and a variety of things that you can include in those. And so you may want to pay attention to that piece. We may have to, especially in classrooms with typical and then atypically developing children, encourage children to play with those children with special needs. A lot of times the perspective that vary by culture influence the value of play and its learning potential. In the Western culture, Western society, we tend to value play a bit more than some other societies. So just keep that in mind. And one of the things that I think about is explaining to parents what is actually learned through the use of outdoor play. And make sure you talk about it not just one time, but lots of times, so they're well aware. So a lot of times we just think, well, let's just go outside, and we don't really think about what it takes to plan the outdoor environment, and especially to plan an outdoor environment with children with special needs. So you want to make sure that you're going to plan an outdoor environment that meets the needs of all the children by providing a variety of fun activities, all the while making sure that you are putting items out there that allow for the achievement of child-specific objectives. So the first thing you have to do is start with a survey. You got to look to see, what do I have and what do I need? Go outside. Are there safe areas for climbing and swinging? Do we have a path to ride our scooter type wheel toys on? Is there an open space where the children can throw the ball back and forth or run? Is there shaded areas so that we don't have too much exposure to sunlight? Is there a place that you can put your sandbox, your water table? An art area possibly with an easel. So you've got to really take a survey of what you have and then decide what your needs are. One thing you want to think about when planning too is that you want to keep your environment as clean and maybe as dust-free as possible. Maybe a water fountain, a drinking fountain for the children, or at least some kind of place where you can put a cooler, especially in the area where we live where it gets a little hot. So we might want to think about those things as well. Don't change your toys and materials too often. Okay, outside. One thing we know about children with special needs is they require time to get used to the materials. And we've talked about it in some other chapters that repetition is the key. So if we're changing out our materials too fast and too quickly, then they don't ever have time to master them. So leave them there. Don't change them too often. Try to have at least 2 or more of the most popular things so that children don't fuss and you know, over those items. A variety is essential in other play areas so that all children may participate at their own developmental level. So have a variety of toys and materials. If you have an art area outside, don't change it too frequently. Add different tools or materials to a basic plan where children can extend their interest. So don't change them too often. Include a variety and make sure that at least every other day you are examining your toys, surveying your items to make sure that they're still in good working condition. They don't have any loose parts. They're not broken, those kinds of things. When you are talking about children with special needs too, we need to think about our children who have communication disorders or motor disabilities that render them nonverbal. So, and sometimes they use those augmentative or alternative communication devices. It's called AAC, such as line drawings or photographs of larger play equipment and favorite activities to facilitate while they're outside. So remember that, you know, those may be needed as well when the children are outside. So thank you so much for joining me for Chapter 11, Outdoor Play. And I will see you next week.